all for attending this very special performance of Elegies for Angels, Punks, and Raging Queens. I'm Susan McNeil, the producer of this show. Where there is sorrow, there is holy ground. This quote by Oscar Wilde sets the stage for this evening. Although our hearts are bursting with pride at our accomplishment, we cannot ignore that we have reached the 35-year landmark of the AIDS pandemic, or that 35 million have died and 40 million are living with HIV and AIDS. But tonight, we choose to celebrate the AIDS Project of Southern Vermont and 3 decades of dedicated service on the front lines of the pandemic. Applause, big applause. In a world where we measure success by numbers, the true barometer is really in showing up, which is what you have done for this unforgettable evening. And for that, we thank you, our audience, as well as the Samara Fund of the Vermont Community Foundation. Richard Wazansky and Christopher Ilstrup have been generous and supportive with their time and resources. I also deeply thank Sam Maskell, our director, and Rich Smith, our music director. Our incredible tech team of Ira Wilner, Bill Lockwood, and Eric Dustin, back there in the corner, but front and center, really, and the wonderful collaboration we've experienced here at the Latchis, working with Executive Director John Potter and Hotel Manager Jonathan Jensen. So one bit of housekeeping. Rich has extended his donation of proceeds from the iTunes download of his commissioned song, Give Me Tomorrow, for an entire month through November 15th. So those proceeds will go to the AIDS Project, and since service can be spotty in the theater, put this on your to-do list for later. You can consider this a reminder now to please turn off your phones. Join us on stage after the show for dancing and dessert and to take a good look at the quilt behind us. And now, please, a very warm welcome for Karen Peterson and Patrick Brown from the AIDS Project of Southern Vermont. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out for this event tonight, and many thanks to Susan McNeil for making this happen. I want to honor Shirley Squires this evening. Shirley has been a tireless advocate on behalf of persons living with HIV ever since her son, Representative late Ron Squires of Guilford, died of AIDS-related illness in 1993. That year, Shirley participated in her first Walk for Life, raising about $1,000. Since then, Shirley has become the single largest donor to the project through walk pledges, raising over $300,000. Every year, she reaches out to a few more people and sets her personal goal a bit higher. She now has over 500 people that contribute to her walk efforts. In addition to raising money for the AIDS Project, Shirley was a volunteer buddy in the early days and served for many years on the board of directors. She's always willing to help whenever needed. So as Shirley prepares for her 25th Walk for Life in 2017, the AIDS Project is pleased to honor her with a Lifetime Volunteer Achievement Award. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you.
I started doing the AIDS Walk in 1993, 4 months after my son Ron died with AIDS. A few years later, I was a board member and saw firsthand all the good the project did for their clients. My thanks always go out to the over 500 people who give so generously to my walk. My contributors are from near and far, including some who were Vermont senators and reps when Ron served. Ron would be so pleased to know so many people still remember him. My goal for next year is to raise $25,000 for my 25th walk. I am so overwhelmed with this honor that I'm receiving and want all my contributors to know that they are the reason that makes it possible for me to receive this award. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shirley.
Thank you.
I'm Patrick Brown. I'm the chair of the AIDS Project Board, and I want to thank you all for supporting our event and coming to the show. I would like to extend special thanks to Susan McNeil for bringing this to the project and for producing this amazing show that we're about to see, as well as the Latchis Theatre and Jody Sperling, who you're about to see, and the cast and crew, and for the Samara Fund for sponsoring this, as well as the Vermont Community Foundation. I hope everyone enjoys the show. Thank you for coming.
have a smoke sitting on a ledge. I'd watch the parade as it passed by, the junkies and hot-to-trot teens. And it felt so right to be sharing the night with angels, punks, and raging queens. We played that gig for a long time, got to know some folks, gave them some change or took their cards, heard their schemes, listened to their jokes. Sometimes they'd stop and hear my songs en route to their fabulous scenes. And I still get laughs from old photographs with angels, punks, and raging queens. That time in the village, but I still don't know what it means. Matrons and whores, intellectual bores, angels, punks, and raging queens. I pass that place like a phantom, and everything has changed. That lousy dive is a sleek boutique, priorities rearranged. I long for a mix of the bad old days, the ball gowns and torn up jeans. And I sing this song for the souls who have gone. Sweet angels, punks, and raging queens.
When I died, my friends, my good friends, they threw the most fabulous party, exactly as I had planned. With a chunk of my estate in hand, they rented my favorite restaurant, drank champagne and margaritas and laughed as tears and beers were spilt. Unveiled my panel for the quilt and then went dancing and scattered my ashes like confetti all over the ballroom floor where we had played and played before. Oh yes, we did know how to party. We could hear the sounds of the sirens in the city calling us to join and then dance. And we met in heady days of liberation from our fears, a late night celebration of how right it felt to say, I am here and I am gay. Yes, sometimes we went too far. Too many drugs, too many men. When that world began to fall apart, I marveled at the way the movers of the stylish scenes, the stunning hunks, the disco queens, became leaders of the fight in death's long and lonely journeying tonight. My younger days was largely split between working in Dad's body shop and sewing on Mom's old machine. That's right, me, the track and field star, working on a souped-up car, then whipping up fantastic frocks. Oh, not for me or anyone else. I always kept them under locks. But later on, those talents of sewing and design led to a modicum of fame, and many women wore my name. When I found out that my life was to end from AIDS, I began to sew the panel that would show my name upon the quilt. As I surveyed the many thousands honored here, I wish I could throw them all a party to celebrate the lives they had. Oh, you who are the living, don't be sad. You still have love to give and troubled hearts to fill with hope. We the dead are fear of strife and the mysteries of life. So don't berate yourselves for what you wish you said before it was too late. Honor us with song and dance, and don't forget to celebrate!
As soon as I could, I fled the wretched town of North Dakota, and I ran straight to New York City. I caught a cab to Christopher Street. I tucked my suitcase at my feet, and I ordered something a bit too sweet. I stayed till closing. But glorious virility, overwhelming my eyes like the sound of disco, assaulting my ears, and my small town fears, they melted away as I sat there day after day, watching the parade of life all around me here in the village. No more Dakota drudgery. Instead, we had the neon-pulsed, Manhattan-driven beat of hunky men and boys, complete to set the beat. But then the plague descended, and my days of bliss were ended. Boys and men, never to be seen again. And I among them, standing, watching still upon the hill of the town I once despised, ever glad that I devised some means of sweet escape. For though death returned me, at least I sought out after life and found some pleasure where I fled.
Hey, here's a good one. Wait, look at it wet. Trippin' on the beach in Provincetown, the day was gray, the light perfused of any substance we had used, made the hues of tiny rocks along the shore glow like gems in Harry's store. And there we were, Billy and Patrick and me, loony as any guys could be, jumping up in ecstasy over each discovery of another stone, whose brilliant colors we would find alone, then share with all the others. Look. Someone had a revelation of the unique configuration of design was more remarkable when the tiny stones were wet. So we put them in our mouths. This sufficed more easily than always crossing to the sea. Oh, we were loony as could be. Demosthenes, I'd yell, Demosthenes, you take those marbles out of your mouth and eat your dinner. And then we'd laugh and carry on. How we'd laugh at days like those. How sad those days came to a close. First, Mitch got sick, we mourned him so. Soon the rest began to go. Grief subsiding not one bit, as yet another friend was hit. When I succumbed, I fought the dark, which numbed my mind by focusing on the days that we shined there on that beach. And my last request to Patrick, beside the final healthy hug, was that he take my charred remains and toss them off along that strip of shore to blend with pebbles evermore. I was ugly as could get, and thought I would look much better wet.
Oh, those days when life was one big party, floating on balloons of fantasy. When I feel so high, I could fly right through the blue. But your standard reply to my well-rehearsed view was I'm holding on to you. Yes, I'm holding on. Can it be to what's gone? Don't long to pursue someone new, 'cause I'm holding on to you.
Still don't know just when the party ended. Haven't started learning to let go. I can't say goodbye. I can't cry for those we knew. I can't even try to do and renew, 'cause
I'm holding on to you. Yes, I'm holding on. Can't admit to what's gone. Don't long for new dreams to pursue, 'cause I'm holding on to you. Feels like we're ballooning through the storm clouds. Someone let us loose and off we flew. No instructions, no crew, not a clue what to do. So I'm holding on. Yes, I'm holding on. Can't admit to what's gone, and don't long for new dreams to pursue, 'cause I'm holding on. Yes, I'm holding on. Yes, I'm holding on.
No AIDS, not me. And that is why I don't belong. I did get sick and went to the hospital, but quick. Do I, doctor? Is it AIDS? His studied silence spoke in spades. So I took an easy exit from my window, 8 floors high. At least I died on my first try. Afterwards, the test came back and showed an overwhelming lack of antibodies. I didn't have it. I was wrong. And now, I'm where I don't belong. This quilt is fine for those who did, but not this kid.
I always got what I went after. So, when I heard the music of his laughter across that bar, where every self-appointed star thought it wasn't cool to smile, I clicked my heels across the tile to his side and said, I have something to confide. I am completely over black apparel. It signals a total lack of individuality. I like your smile, and you're wearing red. I knew he'd fall into my bed. He did. One more slightly spoiled kid who'd had it all and wanted more, spinning my revolving door. Except I didn't send him back to the world all dressed in black. I kept him there with me instead and bought him more clothes colored red. Then one fun night of takeout and videos, he bursts into tears. I'm bi, he chokes, and I am sick. And real quick, I jump in, oh, you're not sick. You're hot. No wonder guys want what you've got. Not this, he cried, not AIDS. And when he died, he left me these, some crimson shirts and his disease. I never thought I'd end up dead because I loved a boy in red.
Happy times, happy nights, happy days are here again. Oh, I lived enough. Thank you very much, and was just as happy it was over. Though I wish the end weren't quite so messy and I died in something a bit more dressy. Though I'm not sure it was any worse than living out the age-old curse of fading into a tired queen with a fallen ass. Watching seasons slowly pass in a piano bar, wishing I was young and firm, filling out like a pachyderm. I was always the first to scoff at couples made of 2 old men. I'd rather be the lonely hen chasing after chicks who sometimes had the yearn to learn some antiquated tricks. The end was not a pleasant scene, although all in all, perhaps less mean than years of me growing old and crotchety, always bitching, giving guff. No, no, my dears. I'd lived enough.
My sister went through men faster than I did. Well, almost. Some of them were losers, some were boozers, some were cute, and one was a real beaut. That was Brian, husband number 3 or 4, I don't remember anymore. He lasted longer than the rest, but not forever. It was best. Somehow, he became my friend. We survived the end of their relationship. We shared a common bond of loving sand and water, framed by a frond or two of palm, the hot, bright sun and the balm of island breezes. We dreamed of moving to the tropics, of leaving the aroma of soggy old Tacoma. Don't misconstrue. He was hetero through and through. But we could do most anything. And have a real good time. When I confessed how messed up I was inside, he took action, called in sick, said, "Pick your island." Flew us there like that, where we just sat and watched the tide come in and out, discussed what life was all about. And when we returned, he learned all sorts of ways to help out. How to change my soggy sheets without disturbing all the tubes. How to give the medications. How to fight dull administrations of hospitals and agencies. When to bark and when to bite and when to hold my hand so tight I'd see beyond my fading sight. Of all the friends I've ever had, Ryan was the straightest, and certainly the greatest.
Yes, my friend, it's raining again today. I never understood why you chose to stay in a climate that's mostly wet and gray, when what you loved was a sun so hot it turned the green grass brown, and the rain keeps falling down. I thought the sky would cry itself dry by this time. Thought that I would see the sun by now. One more tear might wash away this God-forsaken town, but the rain keeps falling down. Who am I? A regular kind of guy. I never let the clouds clutter up my sky. Learned to party, but never learned to cry. And even now my tears won't move. They're painted on a cloud, but the rain keeps falling down. Wish that I could let go like a storm cloud, burst through the dam like a flood, breaking down the wall. Heaven seems to weep with far less reason, but I can't cry at all. I thought the sky would cry itself dry taking town, but the rain keeps falling down. Yes, the rain keeps falling down.
Mamacita. Mamacita Saudano, mi madre of the heart, del corazón. My own mother smashed a glass porcelain virgin on the floor, screamed, "Get out!" and locked the door. No way to change her mind that I was gone. Another sorrow left behind. Mrs. Saldano, Chico's mom, tried to reason with my mother. Whatever he has done, he's still your son. Nothing could be said to change her mind that I was dead. So my new mamacita let me stay and came each day and sit beside my bed and pray. In my room, she placed a statue of the Holy Mother, carved in burnished wood, whose silent smile whispered that she understood my fear and promised that she would stay near. My dear Mamacita Saudano, who treated me like your own son and never questioned what I've done to end this way. Mi madre wouldn't keep in me. I never knew mi padre, but I found comfort. Thanks to you, my dear adopted madre.
I was an ordinary Joe. Took life, and even breakfast slow. I never scaled the heights, or even saw too many sights. I did my part, kept the book in order, and the cart behind the horse. Never wavered from my course, except that time when Emily announced she wanted a divorce. I walked out, no emotion showing, the door swinging on a broken hinge, and dived into a most unlikely binge. Me, awakening in a house of ill repute, where several things did not compute. How I got there, what I'd done. Only my one lapse from grace had been at the very least fun. And in my bed, a little chick whose hair was so red, it seemed her sordid life had bled right through her empty head. This was not the world I knew. Numbers, columns, neat and true. I only visited by chance and left that awful circumstance once I could find my pants. My life was not like magic. No headline screamed my fate. My death was not called tragic by the Fourth Estate. Living with the secret, I would sometimes overhear other men making fun of warnings they should fear, a plague of retribution of those they'd not go near. Somehow, I could not tell them what they didn't want to know. A virus isn't picky about where it wants to grow. They never dreamt it lived next door in Ordinary Joe.
There was a time when I was known as loose. Ganders were fine if I was out of good. Chickens flying in and out of my door, but I don't do that anymore.
I used to drink like a dried up whale, swallow the brine till I was all on my tail, dive for goldfish on the barroom floor. I don't do that anymore. No, I don't do this and I don't do that. I don't lose my head, I don't toss my hat. I've tried it all at least once before. I don't do that anymore.
I must admit I had some regrets.
After the race, you can't change your bets.
Feeling guilty is a terrible bore, but
I don't do that anymore. No, I don't do this and I don't do that. I don't lose my head, I don't toss my hat. I've tried it all at least once before. I don't do that anymore. No, I don't do this and I don't do that. I don't lose my head, I don't toss my hat. I've tried it all at least once before. I don't do that. No, no, no.
I don't do that.
We don't do that anymore.
We don't do that
anymore.
There was nothing else to do. No auditions coming through. Hadn't worked in far too long. The room I'd had for just a song was locked one day when I came back and all my stuff stacked in the hall. I had to call the folks and borrow money to go home. Funny I should call it that. I felt like I'd been born in hell, escaped and lived to tell the tale of growing up, the tainted son of fundamentalists from whom I had run the opposite direction. I had a voice and made the choice to sing secular creations despite my parents' protestations. I knew the scores of all the shows by heart and got a start with Disneyland. Pretty corny, but some of us were horny for the big time and auditioned for a Broadway tour. Sure enough, I got it. That was my finest hour. Why did such sweetness turn so sour? To get my folks to take me in, I had to ask forgiveness for my sin. When they saw the chance to win a wayward soul to Christ, They agreed to take me back, which turned out pleasant as the rack. As I lay there hurting so, I was surrounded by fanatics, wailing, screaming, cheap dramatics in unrecorded tongues, and I used the breath left in my lungs to sing the scores of the shows I knew, to drown them out, but they would shout, "Be gone, Satan! Be gone! Take your demon music back below." Satan! And I would crow, "Don't you see that this is hell? What could possibly be worse? Didn't Jesus say, love and nurse the sick, embrace those who transgress? Where is he in this sorry mess?" Perhaps Christ heard that anguish scream, for then I drifted in a dream of a lovely Broadway show where I sang so beautifully that angels were applauding me. A miracle, that last reprieve, allowing me to take my leave, lost in dreams of make-believe.
Everyone said I was crazy to marry him. Beneath your station. Why a man from Kansas when Iowa has plenty of good ones? A family like that, marked by disease, they must be paying for sins hidden in their family trees. But I liked him and his folks, and even though he and all his brothers had hemophilia, the experts assured us it was carried by the mothers, and therefore our sons would not suffer that affliction. And they didn't. Not our boys, Daryl and little Gus. But there was something else wrong. They weren't like other babies, but sickly and distressed. Before too long, we found out it was AIDS. My husband got it from treatments for his useless blood. He passed it on to me. We gave it to the boys, gave them death as surely as we gave them life. I watched my babies die, and then my Gus. Only me was left of us. And then my mind began to go. People told me I was acting strange, like at the church supper when I took the lid off the salt shaker and poured it out all over everyone's meal, and cried and screamed and started taking off my clothes to let the demons out. I had one last reprieve, a moment of sudden clarity when I could see what needed to be done. I took a gun, one that Gus left, shot all the chickens and the cats, set fire to the house and barn. Went back in to get that special yarn I ordered from Des Moines and was eaten by the flames. They said I was crazy. I wonder if I was. The lines are very hazy between why us and because.
Here's a little trick to find out who your friends really are. Contract a terminal illness, and then tell everyone you have it. Make a list. Cross off those who insist on asking, how'd you get it? Under the heading, friends who are true, mark those who ask, what can I do? My news caused such a flurry of liberal concern at the office where I had been pointed to with pride as proof that executives in charge of sales do not entirely consist of Caucasian males. the rallying round of well-intentioned types who really showed their stripes by asking the wrong questions. Those who did were banished from the realm. And I was virtually alone at the helm of my careering life, wondering what the hell I'd do when the killer coursing through my body reached full concentration. And then my secretary. Something of a sight, in outfits more appropriate for night. Closed the office door, burst into tears, and then apologies. Having worked for me for years, she knew my moods and needs and even fears instinctively, and made my life of dying much easier for me. She was there and showed her genuine concern and care by reading to me when I was too ill to do so on my own. I requested Proust and Woolf and Gertrude Stein. She tried, but could not get through 2 sentences of those. As an alternative, she chose books she'd read her children. I soon knew every fairy tale and kitty ditty by heart. And then she'd start again, and I would sigh, "Go back. You have a life. Your family needs feeding." But she would just continue reading. She only stopped when I did too. The company threw a tasteful little service that she was not invited to. They treated her, my one true friend, worse than they did me. But she will have my gratitude for all eternity.
All the fairy tales have seems to know of a solution, or even if there will be one someday. I wish that I could find you some small peace of mind, or promise there's an answer on the way. But I don't know how to help you. I don't know what to say. I wish that I could wave a wand and chase the hurt away. But that would take more magic than making gold from hay. And though I'm only human, I am here to stay. I am here, always here. I am here to
Honey, I figured since this was my swan song, I was gonna play it for all it was fucking worth. On one of my early visits to one of my early doctors, I collapsed in the waiting room and received the most delicious attention. Well, that's when I knew I could do this episode like a true blue diva and go out in a blaze of style. Not seen since Garbo graced the silver screen. I took to wearing lots of black, pearls cascading down my back, a tasteful Camilla behind one ear, sometimes a veil. It was so queer! But they'd remember when I was gone, so I carried on and on. All my life, I've been tormented by the demented and fearful creeps who couldn't see that laughter sets the soul so free, even death would smile at me. And in the end, on that ward, I truly gained my life's reward. An audience! But you are Blanche. You're on in that chair. Hey there, big boy. Is that a banana in your pocket, or you just happy to see me? Christina! What is this? No wire hangers ever! Captive and enthralled. The odd venue where I was called. The challenge to erase the pain for just a while, or cause a smile where none had been for many days. Showbiz works in wondrous ways. So, now you know, this diva story ended in a blaze of glory.
I didn't want a soul to know. If word got out that I had that, fear would flood the laundromat. Who would want to wash her clothes in machines which had held those of someone now touched by a plague? What would people think? I knew they'd create a stink or nod and wink behind my back, those too frightened to attack. My daughter Meg, the firebrand,
would have sued the doctors who never came to the conclusion that the source was a transfusion. But I said no. I did not cotton to attention, did not relish mention of my name in connection with this shame. Still don't like it when heads tilt to read my name here on this quilt. I made no fuss, but did my dying on a ward, the only place I could afford, with types I never dreamed of. Wasn't that fate's final kicker? Freaks and grandma getting sicker. But before I knew it, I was caring, despite whatever they were wearing. And they enjoyed my company. Who would have thought it? Mercy me. It's good to make friends as you go, but better other folks don't know.
Home was such sweet medicine. Mountain breezes cooled my fear. The untouched vistas left me feeling near the undeniable intelligence which created the myriad details of natural beauty. The wild jazz of 100 birds, a shock of sunflowers interrupted by the purple mountains, the pure, crisp air filling my tired lungs with hope. Dad said, "Well, son, if you're sick, you better come on home." Not many secrets in that town. Word got out that I was back before I girded for attack. I got a call, anonymous, which said, "Wish you were dead. Don't come to the school reunion." I was numb with fright when I limped into the room that night. I had always been the different one. Cruel youth had made jokes at my expense. Jokes had been my only defense. Then April, as tall and lean as when she was homecoming queen, said, "Walter, Walter, is that you?" Came flooding through the crowd and said loud enough for all to hear, "Our Walter has come home." Those words were like the first drops of rain that led to showers of kindness from that community. There is no immunity to fear. But those dear people conquered that disease with care. And my old pop harvested a crop of decency in that time of our despair. Somewhere, there is an undeniable intelligence behind the beauty of that place and in the love of that town's face.
There are times when I sit here and wonder, will the light ever come with the dawn? There are days when I can't help but wonder, just how long will this madness go on? There are moments when magic surrounds me, and times when the light leaves me blind. In that that instant, it all seems so easy. Then I remember all the innocence found in my children, all the beauty that shines from their eyes, and I hear all the joy and the laughter that rises to fill up the skies, and it leaves me with hope for the future, and I know that life still goes on, and I know that the future still beckons, and the battle is yet to be won. Give me tomorrow. Give me today. Show me the future. I'll find the way. I'll climb that mountain. I'll cross that sea. Just give me the chance to sing and to dance. Just give me tomorrow. I feel the hope and the promise around me. It fills the air like a sweet, gentle rain, and it softens the touch of the darkness and lessens the feel of the pain. I find the strength and the courage to stand now, face tomorrow, to keep holding on. And I know that the future still beckons. It's mine now to take and hold on. Give me tomorrow. Give me today. Show me the future. I'll find the way. I'll climb that mountain. I'll cross that sea. Just give me the chance to sing and to dance. Just give me tomorrow. I may still falter. I may still fall. Help me remember. Help me stand tall.
the test. We have seen the worst and we have known the best. Found great friends to share the weightless. Take a moment to celebrate, celebrate. Morning turns to night. Celebrate that wounded bird takes flight. Appreciate the seasons that we share. Celebrate each moment, 'cause each one with you is rare. Celebrate, celebrate that winter turns to spring. Celebrate the life the rain will bring. Appreciate the seasons that we share. Celebrate with music. Celebrate with laughter. Celebrate each moment. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate.
You know what gets my goat? Legionnaire's disease. Remember that one? Please. Few guys kick off, and you'd have thought the world was coming to an end. Then the powers start sending troops of eggheads to investigate. And the great and mighty press covered that inflated mess like the second coming, or the first time going. I saw the winds of panic blowing through that hotel. I was working there when those veterans fell, and I was interviewed and grilled till I thought my brains would spill out of my head. I remembered all that fuss when my man got AIDS. No one questioned us. No one seemed to care. No one told me I should beware of what he could pass on. Of course, my man wasn't white and never won a medal for his fight against the stuff. Battle which he lost. God, he paid a fearful cost. Yeah. They don't have clubs for losers. No parades, no salutes, no conventions filled with boozers spilling out of their old suits. Well, not everyone's a legionnaire. When I think back on their disease, I tell you, it gets my goat.
At first, none of us nurses wanted anything to do with anyone with AIDS, and that made me crazy. Because I was gay, and therefore safe, at least at first, but not from seeing old friends die. So I volunteered for the new AIDS ward, and I could tell in about 2 minutes flat that professional standards did not apply. I just had to cry and help these people die. They needed hugs and common decency much more than some invasive test that might prolong their lives for 20 minutes more at best. I stood it for a couple years until my well ran dry of tears. The day before my leave was due, a pregnant woman crazed on crack had to be restrained. While I was giving her an injection, her hand came loose, and I pricked myself with her infection. I found my way back to my ward by quite a different road. But now many like me were helping with the load of details and of boredom that dying holds in store. And I was very proud to be back in that place once more. Sometimes we make a difference by doing what we must and leave some small impression in life's enduring dust.
I was always sick, and nobody would pick a baby who had AIDS to make their very own. So the hospital was my home. My mommy went away, and there was no one else to say that I belonged to them. But nearly every day, someone came to play. Doctors and nurses, ladies with big purses that usually had some pheasants. Even caretakers would sometimes be checking in on me, which is what family is supposed to be. But sometimes I'd see kids with their families on TV and wonder, what's wrong with me?
In the canyons of death, friends lie in a daze, silently fighting their way through the haze. Many unconscious to all sight and sound, though they lie there unmoving, they are heroes all around. In apartments and wards, the angels descend to cool the fever, to sit with a friend, to fill in the void when no family is found. Though they never admit it, they are heroes all around.
I couldn't wait to go to Vietnam. I loved my country, though the preppies and the pansies said we fought for no reason. I called it treason to deny our elected leaders, those pinkos and liberal-hearted bleeders. They had no idea of what goes on in the real world. But me, I was too young, too green to understand what I'd gotten myself into, too easy to get out. Powders and potions laying all about. So cheap. So easy. Sliding into dreams so quick. Silencing the screams. Screams heard earlier that day. The screams of boys no longer at play in fields of poppies and spice. Nice. And eventually euphoria. You're going home. Yo, let's go. I loved my country. I took an oath. No more needles. No more dope. And now my veins are full of hope. Parades. Yeah, parades. That would have been nice. Jobs. That would have been better. We had neither. Got a letter. It's from my fiance. Hey, sorry, what to say. Met a man. You were away. So I called my friend from Nam, and of course, Uncle Sam had raised the price by quite a bit and liberally stepped on it until it took a lot more shit to hear the band, to fill my veins with Disneyland. And I drifted. And when I awoke, another cosmic joke. Another war. A battle of the blood, the fuel of my dreams. Attacked by some new enemy, advancing invisibly through hypodermic legacy until at last it had found me. And I knew someone would do something that in this country I still loved somehow. And went to war for. Were soldiers that would stand for me. But nothing. Bullshit. And silence. So many more than killed in Nam. Not by gooks who gave a damn, but by neglect of bureaucrats we certainly did not elect, who chose to ignore both threat and fact and casually refused to act. Shame.
Shame, 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 shame.
Shame. For shame, history will remember the names of presidents and pussy-footed troops, while our mothers sit at home on stoops and cry needlessly. America, God shed his shame on thee. History will recall.
Bureaucrats did nothing at all. History will recall. Bureaucrats did nothing at all.
Gay, straight, black, white. Same struggle, same fight. 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 Act up. Fight back. Fight AIDS.
Act up, fight back, fight AIDS. We are everywhere. We are everywhere.
We are everywhere.
If you should get the diagnosis and find your T-cell count is dropping, I would offer this prognosis. Time to do some heavy shopping. Go ahead, buy like mad everything you wished you had. Take your plastic and go crazy. Final sprees aren't for the lazy. Don't stop to question what you need. The point here is to spend with speed. Jaguars, jewelry, don't think twice. Timeshares are especially nice. May I offer one last word? Advice I wish that I had heard. If spending makes you feel alive, die before the bills arrive.
Certain folks stack up their gold, tuck it safely in the hole. They fear the future could be rough and deny themselves a lot of stuff. Other folks will lay their pride, purchase everything in sight. There's need to the last bonbon. You can't spend it when you're gone. Spend it while you can. 'Cause once the shit has hit the fan, all the fat is in the frying pan.
You can't buy off the reaper man. Better spend it while you can.
While you've a pile for kin you hate, why let them fight over your estate? Why leave a chunk for the government man? Why not spend it while you can?
Spend it while you can. 'Cause once the shit has hit the fan, all the fat is in the frying pan. You can't buy off the reaper man. Better spend it while you can. Spend it while you can. 'Cause once the shit has hit the fan, all the fat is in the frying pan. You can't buy off the reaper man. The treasure fills your caravan. You better spend it. Spend it. Spend it.
Whoa, yeah.
While you can. You better spend it while you can.
Weren't we a pretty pair? You, bedridden and incontinent. Me, covered with lesions, trying to take care of you at home. Our families, wonderful. My sister Judith, the hotshot lawyer from the East, drew up our wills airtight so that our dying wish could never be denied, that we would spend eternity sleeping side by side. And at your bed, your parents said, "You are an angel to our son. The two of you behave as one. Our family plot has room for two, and when it's time, you'll be there too." They stood beside me at your grave,
trying to be brave. As you were lowered in the ground, what a lonely, shocking sound. Then your parents turned around and said, "You're a disgrace. We never want to see your face again." And the stress of knowing that the earth would not caress us there together put me well under the weather. My sister took a leave of absence. And nursed me to my end. And then she took an even longer stay to remain here by the bay and fight in court until she could retrieve your body. At last we lie together and leave behind this legacy. Surely there is no dichotomy as good and bad as family.
Lived in San Francisco. He said he'd finally found his place. And when I go to San Francisco, everywhere I look, I see his face. Joe and I faced childhood under stark Montana skies, and but he seemed to always have cities in his eyes. He longed for possibility. He lived to move away, and he finally found history in the city by the bay. Joe and I were best of friends in our small-time college town, and Joe had personality. What a campus clown! His jokes hit deeper rivers that bubbled far below, and he rode the current west where the rapid waters flow. Lots of us had brothers there who would love to show the sights and share the balmy freedom of San Francisco nights. They liked it so much more than anywhere they did, and we thought they would be there when we made it back again. My brother lived in San Francisco. He said he'd finally found his place. And when I go to San Francisco, everywhere I look, I see his
After viewing the quilt, I told everyone, if I die from AIDS, I want my panel to be really special. So, I made this very clear. I mentioned it several times. So, why did I end up with a beach towel with hand-drawn lettering and a teddy bear? Do you know how many goddamn teddy bears there are on this quilt? I'm sorry, it's just not me. I deserve something really original, something really special. So, like Rock Hudson. Look at that. Look at the rainbow, those colors, the glitter. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be bitter, but at least I was remembered by somebody. But it's not fair to die from AIDS and go through life with panel envy.
When the doctor told me the meaning of the purple spot, I started reading everything. That was my way to try and understand, where did this come from? African monkeys? Experiments gone astray in secret labs of CIA apparatchiks? Or was it an unintended side effect of radiation chemicals or some other alteration of the world of nature? And since the consequence would surely be the end of what was known as me, I started reading all that had been said of death and found a common thread beyond the tunnel and the light. I thought, yes, this is it. I found something overwhelming and instantly understandable. Yes, this would be grace, to discover why so many were suffering, why so many are dead and dying, why there are friends and parents crying, why me? And if I could understand the meaning of and the tragedy of unearned death, perhaps I would also understand the mysteries of lonely life, the need, the void, the endless tomes, the libraries where longing roams. As I breathed my rasping last alone, I stopped my quest for understanding more and let myself so dark and sore be filled with light and peace, primary and expanding, a peace that passed all understanding.
I told you of the party when I died, the celebration of life which ended. But life is what mattered, and I lived with AIDS for years, fought the virus, indifference, and outright cruelty surrounding it, fought each invader of my body, fought the fear of death and the unknown, but the fight is what sustained and connected me with others who were fighting too, and it made life as rich as it had ever been. So you, who hear me now and also fight, know that you are living with and not dying from, and that thin line between your world and mine is an illusion, for on either side of that divide, the truth is we are going on, my friends. Time will have its way, and we all must leave, but not before. One story more, one final tale of lessons hard to learn, of not giving up, but letting go.
I fought the end with all my strength, determined to extend the length of this, my time. I struggled so to catch each breath, I would not be caught by death. Patrick, sitting there in that awful metal chair, for months it seemed. Had it been that long? Or had I dreamed it all? This pallid room, the antiseptic-based perfume. No. He had been there all along, knowing love would make me strong. But finally, he held me, close and tight. For seeming hours in the night, he whispered, "Let it go. You are fabulous. You know, you've done and given all you could. None of us would blame you if you call it quits. This is what true love permits. The strength to say goodbye when you're tired. Too tired to try." It was not hard to slip away, Patrick holding me that way. I think I smiled, at least inside, knowing love had never died.
Nephew Scott is ready to start walking. He grabs my leg to reach a new plateau. Soon he'll be exploring new directions. All it takes is learning to let go. My sister Jane has been so understanding. There's no need to explain, she seems to know. She holds Scott with such love and protection. But one day she'll be learning to let go. I want to thank you for being my foundation, for giving me a boost when I was low. Your courage is my inspiration. I guess it's time I'm learning to let go. I'm thankful you could get to know my family, and wish that you were here to see Scott grow. He's holding on like there is no tomorrow. And all of us are learning to let go. I want to thank you for being my foundation, for giving me a boost when I was low. Your courage is my inspiration. I guess it's time I'm learning to let go. I want to thank you for being my foundation. Yes, it's time. I'm learning